The worst advice for getting over pain with lifting weights is just rest until the pain goes away or avoid whatever exercise is painful. 9 times out of 10, this is the advice that you're going to get if you go to a healthcare provider to improve your pain with working out. But here's the thing, it's not the best advice because when you rest for a few weeks, you think you're feeling better, you go back to the same exercise routine that caused you pain only to end up hurt again. This happens because when you completely rest, your body's physical capacity literally decreases. And the best way to explain this is to think of your body like a car's gas tank. So when you're healthy and you have a full gas tank, you can drive 100 miles. But if something happens to your car, aka you get hurt, your mileage starts to decrease. Now, instead of being able to drive 100 miles, now you can only drive 90 miles. If you don't address the root cause of the pain and simply rest or just avoid what's painful, your body's mileage, your body's physical fitness level continues to decrease. So when you feel better and you jump back into your old workout routine, the pain returns and you just get stuck in this vicious cycle. And people go through this over and over and over again until they tell themselves and they start to believe that lifting is not for them. Lifting weights is bad for your back or bad for your knees. They believe that their knees are bad, so they can't squat or lunge anymore. They believe their back is bad, so they can't do any deadlifts or hinge variations anymore. But the truth is, your body just isn't as efficient as it was because you either stopped using it or you decided to ignore the problem. So the quicker we can get you back to safely using the injured or painful area, the better you'll be able to recover. You'll be able to rebuild your body's gas tank. You'll be able to get out of pain. You'll be able to do the lifts that you were doing before without pain. Yes, there are some specific injuries that have specific healing time frames, have specific precautions and restrictions, but there's always things you can do to keep your gas tank from dropping from 100 miles to 50 miles. And this is so important because inevitably there's going to be a time when you need to use the injured area again. And when you do, you'll have a better foundation to doing it if you actually train your muscles and train your body as much as you can while you're rehabbing, because your muscles and your joints aren't going to work in isolation. That's not how our body works. For example, if you had knee pain when you were squatting or when you were lunging and you completely avoided training your legs, it's not going to be a surprise when you go to squat again, it still hurts, because when we squat, we're not just using our knees, we're using our entire body. And that is how it goes for all exercises. All lifts are going to require support from other areas. So we need to make sure that those areas stay strong. If they're not strong, that's probably why you were having pain in the first place. So we have to get them strong. And we have to make sure that those areas stay prepared so that when we do reintroduce the painful movement, your body is ready. And this is why I work with clients less than a week out from surgery, even when they're non-weight bearing, because we can still train hard. We can focus on everything above and below the painful or the injured area. And we can still help to rebuild that gas tank as opposed to you just going from functioning at 100% to functioning at 30%, because that's just going to set you up for persistent pain and re-injury going forward. So we can still get the body ready for more strenuous activities down the line so that when you do reintroduce them, you don't miss a beat, right? So even with less severe injuries that don't necessarily require surgery, like just generalized knee pain, we can continue to train your lower body exercises in pain-free ways. You don't have to just avoid training legs, because that's just going to turn into the vicious cycle that I talked about before. So instead of squatting ass to grass, we can actually squat to a box to avoid the painful range. If squatting in general is painful, we can just take them out temporarily, but we can still train the squat movement by using the leg press and other exercises that eventually help you get back to squatting without pain. If you have pain with lunging, instead of just taking out the lunges, we can make sure that we're keeping your knee from going over your toe, because usually the knee over toe position is painful if your knee is already irritated. It's not a bad position, but it does put more stress on your knees. So we may need to modify that and keep your knee from going over your toes, keep it over your ankle instead, and gradually reintroduce these positions that were painful. But if you just avoid it, you're never giving your body a chance to adapt to it. And then that's where you develop chronic pain and you really start to believe that you can't do certain things, but it's really because you're just letting your body's physical capacity just decrease. Your gas tank is getting less efficient. So this proactive approach is what's going to actually keep you making progress towards your fitness goals while overcoming pain or while rehabbing from an injury. So if you're somebody who's tired of going through the cycle of resting for a few weeks and then trying to get back into your routine, then it being painful again, message me or comment rehab below to get your personalized training program where we're going to help you actually keep going towards your fitness goals while we heal your injury. So if you're somebody who's been dealing with that and you don't really know how to overcome it, just comment rehab or message me rehab and I'll send you more information. Peace.